Is going on, guys? How's it going today? Welcome back to another live flipping session. I'm your host with the most, Scapenomics, and guys, let's make some money today. Now, we did come out with our real-time price flipping guide today on the channel. Now, this was the more in-depth one. It was 25 minutes long, okay, which I know is a little bit long for most of you, or longer than your preference at least, but there was just so much content I wanted to include into that I had to upload the entire thing. And what did you guys think about the Elijah situation on that video? I told you it was going to be crazy, and I think a lot of you will agree with that statement. Now, anyway, that's a video. We're here live today. We're going to do a live session, of course, like we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we are working with 2,130,000,000 GP today, so I'm hoping to toss this around a little bit, make a little bit of quick cash today, and we'll see how much we can make in about an hour of flipping. Let's not delay that any longer. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'd like to try the Twisted Bow here today first. We have Gyroscope saying GL with the flips today. Thank you, Gyroscope, man. Do appreciate it. Now, the Twisted Bow is looking like it's got a good margin for us today, so I would like to try to flip a few of these back and forth here today. And it will be a little bit competitive, right? Because we have to remember that flipping during the time slot that we are flipping on live stream currently is one of the most competitive times that you can actually flip. So, while I do not recommend that by any means, I think now the current meta is really to flip during the most unpopular times, because you're going to have less competition on your margins. It's going to be a lot more easier to flip things. So anyway, we already got a Twisted Bow, which is a little bit suspect. I mean, that just bought a little bit faster than I thought it would. I'm not concerned yet. We should be able to sell it, but definitely bought a little bit faster than I expected. We do have a lot of cash on hand still to put into some more items here, so I would like to do the Justiciar armor sets after that, and we'll see if we can get a decent margin on these as well. They do look like they've come down in price quite a lot recently, and I would just like to test them out to see if we can make a little bit of cash on them today, and hopefully walk away with a nice little bit of profit. We'll go ahead and list 5 of those, which is the 4-hour limit on the Justiciar armor sets. Fat Joe says, good luck on the flips. Thank you, Joe. Do appreciate it, man. Your guide looks like 25 minutes of quality Scapenomics content. I do appreciate that, Jay. I really do. I'm glad you did enjoy it. And it looks like we're a little bit laggy today, actually. I didn't really expect that. Hopefully the lag clears up here in a minute. Shoot. Let me see here. Oh, we always struggle, man. Always a struggle here on the stream. We'll see if the lag clears up. I think it did. Okay, we'll keep going. Anyway, TNT giving us a follow over on Twitch. Thank you, TNT, for the follow. Wuggy, it is good to see you, man. Now, I don't want to delay it too much, so let's keep our flips going here, guys. Would like to do the Avernic Defender next. This one is a little bit riskier than most items. I feel like a lot of people have been seeing good margins on the Avernic and have been actually trying to flip them since we have real-time prices, but you have to keep in mind that the Avernic is a pretty low-volume item to begin with. So I'm only going to go in for 3 of those, just in case we do end up in a bad situation on those Avernics. Now, we're going to fill our last slot up with the Sanguesti staff, and you know what? I know I say it wrong, but I love to call it the Sanguesti staff. I don't know why. I'm just used to it at this point, so I'll probably continue to mispronounce it. Now, we do have the Twisted Bow here, which the margin has come down. Whoa, look at that. We have Chicken Dinner coming in with the subscription. He's like, hey, here is another month. Here's to another month of flips. Thank you, Chicken. He also says, finally caught a stream to renew the sub. Fingers crossed for some good profit. You bet, Chicken. Haven't seen you in a minute, man. Good to have you back on the stream. Welcome back. And I don't think I've seen you since this real-time price update. So really interesting price update that went into old school RuneScape. I'm sure you know about it at this point, but it's going to be an interesting session. We'll have to see if we can make a little bit of profit here today, and it is during one of the most competitive times. We are flipping during a very competitive time slot, but we're going to do our best to... Oh my goodness. Sickness 410 with a subscription over on Twitch. Thank you so much, Sickness, man. Seriously, guys, what the heck? Right off the bat, you guys are coming in with the subscriptions. Absolutely super thankful for that. So thank you guys for the subscription. Seriously, Sickness, man, thank you so much for the prime. Anyway, we have LL, or Light Up the L. He says, yo, it's Lewintag. I know it's you, man. I know your name. Don't worry. Good to see you, Lewintag. We also have Sickness chiming in. He says, good luck today with those gains. Thank you, man. I'm going to do my best to make some profit here, dude. Absolutely. Hilm Your Fate also giving us a follow over on Twitch. Really do appreciate it, guys. Everybody, welcome to the flipping team. Thank you for the primes, guys. Seriously, do appreciate it a bunch. Really does mean a lot to me. So thank you for your support on that. We just do this for fun, but it's always a reassuring thing to get some subscriptions, man. So thank you. Anyway, we are already off margin for the Sanguesti. I will knock that up a little bit, but again, not going to chase the Sanguesti too hard here because I don't think it's worth chasing too hard. The margin is not that big. That's too big of a margin we have currently listed. And I don't know why this Twisted Bow didn't sell since it just registered a flip above it, and we're actually underneath that margin. So a little bit interesting to see that the Twisted Bow hasn't sold yet. I'm not too nervous because it hasn't been that long, but we'll keep a close eye on it, make sure we can actually get that thing off for a profit. And yeah, I guess we'll just leave it there for now. I would like to get another item going though as well. Maybe we can do the Scythe of Vitur. Does look like that has a decent margin as well. We're going for these big flips, guys. Now that there's real-time prices, I'm just so hell-bent on getting some massive margins. It's a little bit quiet on the stream today, guys. Maybe I messed up a setting or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and get these flips listed here. It's probably because I have a video out. YouTube doesn't want to promote my content. Let's go ahead and list this Scythe of Vitur. We're going to watch that really closely on the price action here, and we'll see if we can get a few of these flips going. I do imagine the Justiciar armor sets have probably already moved, and that is actually the case. So we're going to list that a little bit higher here to follow that margin upwards. Again, the way active flipping works now is very different than the way it used to work, so you have to be very, very active and competitive on your flips at all times. Now, we haven't got the Twisted Bow off yet. We will keep a close eye on that to make sure we can secure that margin. We should be able to get it though. We just got to give it a little bit more time. And the Avernic has already run away from us. Not going to chase that thing any further. Actually, yeah, we will. We'll bump it up one more time. That should be about good right there. And we're going to leave that to do its thing. We have Hilm Your Fate. He says, that's been happening to me. Must be people with the GE plugin off. Yeah, that's what I would assume as well. People probably have the GE plugin disabled, and that's why their prices aren't getting recorded. Honestly, I don't think it's a big deal at all. I mean, of course, I have mine disabled. I expect most flippers have theirs disabled as well. You will still get really accurate price information. You're just not going to get every single price that's been, or every single item price that's been traded back and forth on the exchange. But yeah, I do think it can be a little bit tough when people turn that plugin off. I mean, I hope most people keep it on just for my benefit, but again, I assume most people probably turned it off once they became aware of it. Anyway, we're just sitting back, kicking back, waiting for some of these items to come through. You will see some stale offers occasionally on items that are a little bit more low volume. And yeah, that's a combination of people having the GE plugin turned off so the data isn't recorded, as well as just lower volume items not being traded as much. Keep in mind that people they basically expect like the item to update every 3 minutes now, when sometimes trades can take even longer than 3 minutes, and a trade could happen within 3 minutes that also doesn't get recorded. So anyway, there's a lot that goes into it, but we're still at 0 GP on the session. We haven't flipped anything yet, and we're hoping to squeeze our first item in sometime soon. Still on margin for the Scythe here. We're also for everything as of right. I can tell off the data that I have, we are currently on margin for about everything we've got right now. I am going to sell this Twisted Bow back for a little bit less, just because we haven't been able to move it yet, and it would be good to sell this thing off and try to get back in at a cheaper price. Looks like we did buy it for a little bit too expensive of a price, so it's a little bit of a problem. Lots of lag here on the stream today. Don't know why we're super laggy, but I'll do my best to push through that lag, guys. Sorry, it's sometimes we just get a terrible viewback experience. I do apologize. Anyway, Chicken Dinner says, not being able to catch your streams back at work, but you guys have moved to daylight savings in America, but we don't change till the end of the month in the UK. 10 p.m. streams are better than 11 p.m. streams. That's true, man. It's good to hear. And it's, it's just tough for me to stream during everyone's time, right? Like, the time has to work for me to really stream it. So, unfortunately, it's hard for me to accommodate time zones, which is why we started the weekend stream. So, hopefully, people who can't catch the weekday streams can get the weekend streams, vice versa. No, it looks like my internet's been hitting a couple lag spikes. So, it's not you guys, it's all me. All right, the Avernake is running away from us. Weird session so far since we haven't moved anything yet. Let's go in on the Ancestral Road Top here. We'll try to get a couple of these going as well. Just put a lot of money into it, see what happens. I think we're still on margin for the Scythe, which is odd. The prices are a little bit outdated, so it's probably moved on us, but you'd be ashamed to move it and then buy it for too high of a price, you know what I mean? So I think we're going to actually leave that to see if it buys, and if the price does shift upwards, we're going to adjust our offers to actually accommodate for that. But right now, I think we're okay. And the Twisted Bow as well, still not selling, which is also a little bit interesting. We'll be patient on that as well. Right now, I'm experiencing tornado weather, so I just assumed. Little wind tag, man, that's crazy. Hopefully you're okay. Hopefully you are safe. But we're safe here at the Grand Exchange today, okay? Trying to make a little bit of profit here today. And currently, we haven't made any profit. We just are getting into it. We're about 10 minutes in, though, so it's weird that we haven't moved any items yet. But there's the Twisted Bow for a 310k profit, which is really, really bad. I'm not saying that you should normally accept that on a Twisted Bow, because you really shouldn't. So we're actually going to go back in and relist it for a little bit cheaper. Actually, lower than the margin that's currently stated on my price tracker here. But I think it's going to buy at this price. I could be wrong, but I do think it's going to swing in our favor, and we will be able to make a little bit more profit on the next one. It can still happen, right? You can still buy an item for too high of a price and have to list it back for a little bit lower than you anticipated and not make as much money on it. I mean, as long as it's a gain, it's still, you know, a win in my book, but you always want to maximize your profit as much as you can in the first place. Let's go ahead and, I mean, we could try to flip some Ancestral Robe sets, but it looks like the data is actually a little bit out of, it looks like it's a little bit old. So we're going to go ahead and move on to a different item here. I'm still looking through my, my items here. There we go. I did find the Ceradoman Godsword looks pretty good right now, so I'm going to go ahead and list that as well. Let's do that for... it's about average price, I'd say. Can we get 8 of them? Probably not. Wow, we really don't have a lot of cash on hand, I guess. Anyway... Hilm Your Fate says, are you using a different tracker than the wiki one? I am using a different tracker. I actually have a private tracker that was built for a couple members in the community that I do have access to, which is really, really awesome. I'm very thankful for it. But it's basically the same thing as the OSRS price tracker. It just came out beforehand, but it's literally the same exact thing. Good question, though. I do think the OSRS Wiki Price Tracker is really, really powerful, though, especially for overnight flipping or flipping over longer time frames. That thing is amazing just because of how accurate the data is. And, of course, it's great for active flips as well. It's just active flips, they come with a little bit more competition these days. Just consider that everyone has access to that website. It's free for everyone to use and things like that. Still on margin for the Scythe, but no action on it yet. It looks like it's a really tight margin on that Scythe. I think I'm actually going to cycle out of it just because it's almost like zero profit on that thing. So I don't really want to chase that too hard. Definitely struggling to get anything moving today, guys. So we're going to keep hunting for items. We'll try to cycle into some stuff, see what's moving, what's not moving. Definitely having a little bit tougher of a time than I normally would. We'll get a couple of those Arcane Spirit Shields listed and ready to go. Guys, how is it going today? Hopefully you guys are doing well. Let me know in the live chat if you're making more money or less money than you typically would on, or typically would with this new price information, right? Currently, right now, we're not making too much, so we're going to try to change that around. Who is Man King says, I felt like all the prices were a little outdated today. Dude, I'm feeling kind of the same thing. It seems like a lot of prices seem a little bit behind or something. Just by, you know, me not being able to buy a lot of this stuff. I don't know if I'm just not being competitive enough, but I am following my offers exactly to the T, and I'm still having a tough time. So very interesting to see that. Okay, it does look like this Twisted Bow is actually going, it's really weird what's happening right now. The twist, like, I was above margin on the Twisted Bow by about 800k, apparently, and it updated while I had the offer in, so, and it still didn't buy, so I don't really know what's going on with these prices, but we're going to keep going for it, I guess. It's very odd what I'm seeing. Could be that the API is maybe having a little bit of difficulty, but anyway. El Jacko says, I went from making 10 mil a day to 3 mil a day. Not an upgrade that you'd like to see most of the time. I would just give it some time. I think some days are going to be better than other days, obviously, with these new flipping methods. And it is interesting to see right now, especially, how stale the market is. Originally, these new prices brought in a lot of volatility and just a lot of volume in general to the markets. And it does look like that's a little bit different right now. And anyway, we'll see what happens. I mean, we're all about covering OSRS markets here, so if anything changes, I'll definitely let you guys know and keep you in the loop. I do think that there is going to be a much larger rotation to overnight flipping and investments compared to active flipping, just because of how competitive active flipping has now become, now that everyone has access to every single margin at any moment in time. And people can even make tools to see which items are the best at any given time, and things like that. I mean, that OSRS price wiki is insanely powerful, and everyone having access to that it's just a crazy movement, crazy time to be alive as far as old school RuneScape flipping goes. So it's definitely changed the landscape immensely, and we're just trying to cover it here on the channel and see, hey, can we still make money flipping in this new meta? And I do think there is still opportunity. That doesn't mean you're gonna have opportunity every day, but it's always been like that. You know, some days have been really good for flipping, some days have been really bad. That's definitely something that has not changed in the slightest. So anyway, this could just be one of those worst days. Now, where I do see, you know, this real-time price information being very powerful for active flippers is when new updates come out, right? Because when new updates come out, volume on a lot of items, especially PVM-related stuff, if it's a PVM update, goes immensely high. Let's see a little bit here. Don't know what happened there. I might crash here. Definitely lagging a little bit. Hold on, guys. We are experiencing a little bit of lag right now. There we go. We are back. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, we did hit a little bit of a lag spike, and we still are lagging a little bit. As you can tell, not a great day for us on the stream. I mean, this is the first time we've had lag in quite some time, so a little bit interesting to see that. But anyway, we'll go back and sell these Sanguesti staffs here. Now, now it says we're off margin for that on that. I would like to clear up a little bit of cash here if we can in the short term, but I think we're okay where we are right now. I'm going to try to go in on the... Oh, not the sell offer. I'm going to try to go in on those Bandos Tacits like I was talking about before. Buy. Why is it saying sell? I want to buy. Apologies for the lag, guys. I really don't know why we are lagging. It's really a pain. Okay, I think we're back. Okay. All right. Hopefully we're good now. Anyway, let's, for the third time, try and get these Bandos Tacits listed. Now, we'll go ahead and list these a little bit underneath their average price, it looks like. So we'll go ahead and put them in here. And we'll get about 8 of them going. We'll see how that does for us. Oh, we can't. We don't have enough money. I think we can do 2 of them at a time. We'll see if that works out. Sorry for the lag, guys. I do apologize. Usually, I don't lag this crazy, but it must be an off day for us. We must have the stream demon is back in action, trying to knock us off. You can't handle my supreme power. Good to see you, Ice-T. We have Evoked as well in the chat. He says, good morning, afternoon. It's good to see you, Evoked, man. Thank you for tuning in today. We also have El Jacko stating that also high-volume items are doing more justice than mid to low-volume flips. I'm glad the high-volume items are working out for you. I have been doing really well on the lower-volume stuff, although right now, we're not making any money for whatever reason. So we're going to try to change that around here in a minute, but we definitely are struggling here in the short term. We'll go ahead and list a couple more of these Ceridoma God Swords here. SQ says, do you ever flip high volume stuff? I do like to flip high volume stuff, although I will say that when you are working with basically max cash, it's not that great to flip high volume stuff because you have opportunity to flip other items and make a little bit more profit per hour than you would. So it seems like my stream is really delayed, guys. I'm sorry that this is happening. We're having a lot of lag difficulty right now. So again, do apologize. Hopefully we push through it and we get to somewhere where we're not lagging as much because right now there seems to be a lot of lag. But anyway, we do have one of these Ceridome God Swords here. We're going to turn around and sell these as quickly as we can. And we're going to be... I guess the margin is actually kind of closed on that. So let's go ahead and list it for a little bit underneath the margin there. We're going to cut back on the other two that we do have. We'll cycle that into another item. It's only 71 mil though, so we'll have to see. Margins are all over the place right now. Really weird situation. Let's see. I'm trying to think of where to list these Sanguesti staffs because they've currently dipped under where I'd like to sell them, but I don't know if it's worth holding either. It's kind of like a weird situation for those. They do seem to be coming down in price, so I don't want to hold them for too long. We did get the Ceridome God Sword off. Thank goodness. We finally got something to move today. It's been such a hard time to get anything moving back and forth. I mean, today has just been really, really tough so far. Now, we do have this Arcane Spirit Shield, though, so let's turn around and sell that as well. I did have the Arcane Spirit Shield track somewhere on here. There it is. Hopefully that sells for around that price. And we'll get 2 of the Arcane Spirit Shields in as well. SQ says, I'm a noob flipping with a 4 mil stack, so that makes sense. I do think flipping with high volume is a great way to make money, though. I talk about it a lot for smaller cash stacks. It doesn't mean that you can't make any money flipping high volume. It's just, it takes a little bit more effort. Are you coming up with your margins based on GE Tracker? I'm using the OSRS Wiki's real-time price information that has recently come out within like the past week or 2 weeks. And I'm finding that that is the best way to track my margins currently without doing manual margin checks. We have SQ giving us a follow over on Twitch as well. Thank you for the follow, SQ. Do appreciate it. Welcome to the flipping team. Now, he said, I never understood deciding margins on higher priced items. Well, now that there's real-time prices available, it's very easy to actually track those items, and it's pretty easy to improve your flipping skills, I would say, considering that every single margin is available across all the items. That being said, it is extremely, extremely annoying to constantly track your margins at all times and just stay on top of margins. I found it very difficult to do that, especially today. We're only up 369k 23 minutes in. Like, that almost never happens for us. Oh, what the heck? Okay, well, that Twisted Bow came in as I was going to cancel the offer, so very, very odd situation on that. Now, we'll turn this around and try to sell it for a really quick margin here. Don't know if it's going to hit, but I hope it does. Currently looks like it's about a 1 mil margin on the Twisted Bow, but again, I really don't know if we're going to be able to sell this. If we do, though, it's going to be a lot of money. Anyway, guys, I hope you are doing well today. A little bit of a quieter stream today. Was definitely not expecting that. Not really sure why. But anyway, must be something on the YouTube end didn't get out there for everyone. But that being said, we're still trying to make a little bit of money today. 369k in the stack so far. Definitely looking a little bit low profit-wise for this session. Definitely would say we haven't really made a lot of money quite yet. But hopefully we'll turn that around here in a couple of minutes. Let's list these Grazis for a little bit above margin. I'll put it about, I'd say we're about, what, 40k above margin on those Grazis. We'll see if that fills. Good margin on them right now, though. Dragonfire wards are also looking pretty good, but I don't think I want to flip them, to be quite honest. And we did get the Arcane Spirit Shield off. All right, we didn't get a good margin on those either, but at least we have some things moving around today. Super competitive time to flip right now. Very, very high competition rates, if that's even a term, right now. This is like the prime time to play old school RuneScape, so I do imagine that we will have a difficult time, like, getting flips to go through. And that does seem to be the case on the Sanguesti stabs. Not moving at all, which is a little bit of a problem. Now, the problem that this current meta has is that items will crash very quickly, but they'll also rebound pretty quickly as well, right? So if you're trying to active flip and, you know, you're holding a couple items that you'd really like to get off to clear up some space, well, there is a good chance that that item does keep plummeting for a couple of mil, just because, you know, it's kind of this feedback loop, right? Everyone's flipping the item, then it crashes a little bit, then someone's like, I don't want to take any further losses. They sell for lower, then the person after them sells for lower, and it's just this constant spiral downwards where people don't really have the patience to wait out a lot of situations, where if you were to wait it out, you still would profit, but people feel like they can't because they're scared of a crash, which I'm seeing a lot of that. It's happening on the Sanguestis right now. It's happened on almost every flipping session that I've done since this real-time price information has come to the game. Do you miss guessing the margins for the Twisted Bow and the Scythe? I haven't flipped since this new update. It's not that I miss guessing them. I miss, like... It feels, you know, the competition doesn't really feel authentic now, if that makes sense. Like, you know, when you flipped in the past, you didn't know where the margin was. You had to figure it out. And when you figured it out, it kind of was a big reward because then you could flip the margin for the rest of the time. And yes, other people would find the margin as well and give you a little bit of, I'll say, like, natural competition. But now that real-time prices are available to everyone, I mean, it's just not as, like... It's not as skillful, it feels. You know what I mean? Like, it took some actual skill to flip a Twisted Bow for, you know, a 1 mil margin, right? Or to manage an Elysian flip for a 2 mil margin, things like that. Now it's kind of just like people see the prices, they list them, and it's all about, like, maintaining your flip compared to actually kind of guessing where an item might be or trying to stretch a margin more so. It does feel a little less skillful now. Now, that being said, I still think you can make a lot of money per hour. I mean, we're still, like, not doing horrible. I mean, well, we're kind of doing really bad right now. But for the most part, I think most people have been making more money than they have in the past. That does seem to be my experience. Just through what people are posting in the Discord and whatnot, it seems like people are making a little bit more. And one big thing I think is a factor in that is people are not paying for margin checks anymore, right? You don't really have to pay for a margin check anymore, which makes a big difference. It just saves you a lot of money per hour, I would say. You know, you don't have to pay for margin checks, saves you a lot of money in the long run, and can make a big difference in your gains. But I don't think ever doing a margin check was detrimental to your gains. It's just that was the pay to play, right? You paid for the margin, and then you had the margin. You can flip it. Now, that was like a little bit of a thing that, I don't know, it feels like you pay the tax and you get to play it once you do. So it's definitely an aspect of flipping I miss. I honestly miss margin checking because I think it was just a fun part of the process. You know, it let you discover the margin. You had to pay for it, so it kept a little bit of competition off the table. And now I think it's really easy to flip, right? Because you can just, you know, look on the wiki, go towards, you know, the item you want to flip, and just look at the prices and flip it from there. So I think the barrier to entry on flipping now is very, very low compared to where it used to be. And that's bringing in a lot of new people to flipping, which is great. But at the same time, it's bringing in a lot of competition, and it just makes things go a little bit wonky in the short term. But as time goes on, I'm sure people will adjust to the new meta. I'm sure people will stop actively flipping. I do imagine that more people will start overnight flipping and things like that, just because the graphs are so accurate now that you can really get some easy price listings in and make a ton of money overnight. And of course, we're going to have a guide on that as quickly as we can. But probably whip that up this weekend, I would think. Anyway, guys, if you are enjoying the live stream today, definitely drop a like if you're watching over on YouTube. It really does help me out a lot. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Give us a follow over on Twitch. We're always bringing flipping content and flipping live streams to the channel for you guys to enjoy. And one thing we're definitely not bringing you is some Avernic flips, because we have not been able to flip this thing successfully once, which is crazy. But anyway, we actually were very close to on margin for this Twisted Bow. We were a little bit over, about 50k over, so that's a little bit unfortunate. We're going to knock that down here and try to sell it off. Still looking very solid profit-wise on that Twisted Bow, though. And give me 1 second, guys. Just got to run across my room. Wait, I want to see. Okay, never mind. The Scythe of Vitura is actually looking pretty good right now. We could try to flip one, but we might actually not go for that. And we did get the Twisted Bow off. Very, very nice. We're going to go in and list another one. Unfortunately, the margin on the second one is smaller, so we won't make as much profit on that second one. And we are getting those Bandos Tacits as well. Let's just make sure those are not crashing on us. We're still looking good on them, so we'll leave that there. Oh, sorry, I'm missing some comments. I don't know. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. For some reason, they're not coming up in my normal chat. I do apologize. Hopefully you guys are still here, by the way. We have OSRS Clue says, did you see the T-Bow go from 1 billion 100 mil to 1 billion 112 mil in a few hours earlier? I did not see that. I was working, unfortunately, but I'm not surprised. The Twisted Bow does have a lot of big price swings, so I'm not surprised it did do that. Now, we do have SS Kappa. He says, this new meta is nice, to be honest. I was an active flipper prior to the change before it made me, so it's made me more per hour than before. Yeah, so for most people, I feel like it has made them more profit per hour. And again, sorry guys, I do apologize. All my YouTube comments are not showing up over here for whatever reason. This is it's not the first time this has happened, so I do apologize for that. Let's see, and we also have, let's see. There will never be stability in the market anymore. The new stability will be plus minus 500k to 2 mil up and down each day on bigger items. Absolutely. I think real-time prices brings in a lot more volatility as people are more willing to trade based on that real-time information. I missed clicking one key to get the correct price. Now I have to check the wiki, type each number manually with a lot of room for mistakes. I've already experienced clicking the wrong number key and looking at the graphs wrong number with the wiki. Yeah, that is something definitely different, and I actually do imagine that they will implement something that is a RuneLite plugin. Considering that OSRS worked with RuneLite to bring the prices, I do imagine that's going to go both ways, and RuneLite will bring a plugin that is going to list those real-time prices into the client, which that could be even more detrimental. We'll have to see what happens with that, but who knows if that's going to be, you know, real-time margin listing for items or what the case is. Maybe it's just going to display the prices. We'll have to see. I mean, those are things we can't really predict, right? Anyway, we're going to list these Dragon Hunter Lances back again. Not making a lot of money on those Dragon Hunter Lances, but at least we are making a little bit on them. We flipped 2 of them for 170k, which is not too bad. We're also going to cut back on the Tacits as well. We might go back in on those for a higher price. I just do want to sell them for just for now so we can get them off and possibly cycle back into them. They still look like a good flip, so as long as we can get these moving. I saw your message, SS Kappa. He says, just join Scape with the low quality stream. F, man, F. Hey, we have Horse Detective popping in. He says, are you going to be switching your stream time to non-peak hours for the gains? You know, as much as I'd like to, I can't really because of work. So maybe we'll do like, sometimes we'll do late night, like weekend streams where I can get better margins. But as far as the weekday streams go, unfortunately, I cannot switch the time very easily. So as much as I'd like to, I can't. Now, it does look like the Twisted Bow actually has a higher margin than we're currently listed at. I think there's a little bit of lag with the prices here today. I don't really know what's going on. It seems like the prices are really, really laggy and behind. I don't know if that's just me, but like all my active margins look like they're a little bit late to the party. American giving us a follow over on Twitch. Thank you, American, for the follow. Do appreciate it. Welcome to the flipping team. Thank you for joining us today. And these chain skirts ran right away from me. I didn't even get close to them, so feels bad, man. Oh my god, whoever listed the Grazis is literally 1k above my buy price. Oh my goodness, are you serious? Who does that? Who does that? Anyway. Lucky them, I guess. We did knock up the Twisted Bow margin because the wiki says we're going to get a better price on them. So, I guess we'll wait that out and see if we can actually do that. Let's try to find some new flips here in the meantime. We do have a lot of slots open here and a lot of cash on hand to actually flip with. And I did find another great item we can do, and that is going to be the Dragon Claws. Now, we'll get these listed in. Hopefully, we don't have to be too crazy on watching these. We'll go ahead and list, I don't know, we'll try to do about 8 of them if we can get that going. I'm sure we'll have to adjust that here in a minute. Oh, wow, was waiting for an answer. You skipped my question. Sorry, guys. My chat that I normally read off of is broken, so I have it split up. So we have Twitch on one side, and we have YouTube all the way over on this side. So I do apologize. Usually it's merged together, but right now it is broken, so I have to watch, like, 2 separate chats. So I do apologize if I miss your comment. If I miss it, just spam it again. I'll get around to it. It will come out soon. It's not that hard. Since the API is open source, I've already made my own program that tells me highs and lows. Ooh, that's super awesome, man. We also have Robert L. He says, yo, good to see you, Robert. Thank you for tuning in today, man. And yeah, we're just trading some items back and forth, guys, trying to make a little bit of money. A really tough session so far today. We haven't really made that much yet, which is obviously not my preference. I always like to make a little bit of money, but who doesn't? Who doesn't? Still waiting to get that Twisted Bow off as well, where it looks like we might be a little bit behind on the price listing for that Twisted Bow. So we'll have to see. Still hunting some new items here in the meantime, trying to look for some opportunity. I don't think this is an accurate margin, but let's try and get it anyway. So it currently says the crossbow's got like over 150k margin, so we'll try and hit that. Please don't instant buy. Okay, didn't instant buy, which is good. American says, when someone says full cash stack, how much is that? It's 2,147,000,000 GP. That's max cash. American also asks, also, once you flip the money, what do you normally do? Do you go PvP or anything with it? Nope, I just save it up and keep flipping. Flipping is my favorite thing to do in-game, and a lot of people are like, how is that even a thing? I thought you just did it for money. Well, I think it's a thing because I make content on it, and I love teaching it to other people, and we've just been doing it for so long, so honestly, I just try to build my cash stack up as large as I can get it, and that's kind of my goal behind playing RuneScape in general. And, you know, I'll do PVM sometimes to make a little bit of money, but I don't really normally do PvP. And I would say most of the time if I'm on RuneScape, I am flipping for profit. Probably about 98% of the time. Anyone that's watched my channel for a while knows that might be the case. Let's see. I mean, oh, there we go. Twisted Bow really giving us some nice margins right now. Very happy with our performance on this as of right now. Wait, there's no way we made more than that. Oh, it's because the first one we didn't make that much, I guess. Okay, makes sense. I'm actually going to list underneath again, see if we can get another one for cheaper. Robert L says, I'm sitting at 600 mil right now. Do you think I'll make more flipping with it or PVM? I think you can make more flipping with a 600 mil stack than you would PVMing. I mean, it does depend on what PVM you're doing. If you're doing like high-end Theater of Blood efficiently, then you're going to make more doing that. But if you're comparing it to like Vorkath or Zulrah, you're definitely going to make more flipping. Especially if you include overnights as well, which maybe don't count, but active flipping, I still think you might make a little bit more. And I know, Robert L., you have some experience as well, so you should be easily making a decent bit of GP. Okay, prices did update for the claws, so I'm going to move those as well. Well, you can make more with PVM, definitely. It depends on what you choose to do. I mean, yeah, I mean, Theater of Blood, I think, is maybe... Well, it depends, right? Because if you get a good drop from, like, Chambers of Xerix or literally any boss, then you're probably going to make more flipping than you would flipping. I would say flipping is a little bit more up and down, as like some days you're going to make a lot of profit and some days like today you're not going to make anything. But that being said, I do think that overall flipping is a more useful skill. I think it is better than PVM moneymakers, unless if you're someone who, like, if you're purely going for profit, flipping is probably better. If you were to ask me, I might be a little bit biased, but you know, there's no doubt that, you know, Chambers as Eric's and Theater of Blood can also be a very competitive profit per hour. So that being said, because flipping, if you get a little bit of luck, you can make a lot of GP per hour, but it's the same thing with PVM. If you get a little bit of luck, you're going to make a lot per hour. Then it's like, is flipping consistent money? Like, it is if you flip every day, but if you don't flip every day, then maybe it's not. Or if you only overnight flip, then maybe one night some of your overnights don't fill. So then that's not going to be a profitable overnight for you, because you're not going to make as much as to where but then again, you don't even have to log on to make the money. So there's a lot of differences. I personally think that flipping is the best moneymaker in the game, just because of its flexibility. Whereas PVM, you really have to focus on one thing. You're doing one thing over and over again and trying to make profits from it. John Ho says, hey, I got 450 million GP. Do you have any suggestions for overnight flipping? Do you mean like item suggestions, John? If that's the case, I can help you out. Some nerd says, you say flipping is more useful than PVM, but neither are useful unless you find them fun. Definitely. And you guys know that. My number one thing about playing RuneScape is making sure you're doing the thing that you love to do in game. Otherwise, you're going to burn out and you're going to stop playing the game. And we need as many players as we can get. I like flipping because, I don't know, I just like doing it. I like trading items back and forth. And that's been my focus for so long. The actual best moneymaker in-game is probably Barbarian Assault Leeching, which is a consistent 10 mil an hour. Which is, like, yeah, that's when you, like, run people through Barbarian Assault, right? Yeah, I guess that would be the best moneymaker, but, like, do you always have someone you need to run through Barb Assault? That's the thing. Where's the pipeline on that? You know what I mean? Like, can you do that for 12 hours a day? I'm not sure. But, yeah, I guess you wouldn't flip for 12 hours a day either. Robert L says, also, you didn't say there's a way, didn't you say there's a way to turn off RuneLite Tracker? Yes. If you disable the GE plugin on your RuneLite client, your prices will not get tracked. That being said, if someone else has the tracker on and they buy your item, then your price still gets tracked anyway. I would flip PVM related stuff, John Ho, especially with this new real-time price information. I think overnight flipping is going to be better if you flip like medium to low volume stuff. So like Barrow's gear would be a good start if you're looking for something a little bit safer. You could even branch out to like Dragonfire wards maybe would be decent. Ancient Wyvern shields would be good. Let me think what else, because 450 mil is like somewhere in between everything. Archer's rings, Berserker rings would be fine. Those are a little bit safer probably. Superior Dragon Bones, I would throw those on your list as well. Ceradomin Brews, Prayer Potions for a little bit of that side income as well, because you can make good margins on those. The limits are just a little bit smaller. But I think those are going to be some pretty good items to start you off. Rune Pouch, maybe Ceradomin Tier, but those are very, very, like, the volume is very low, so you got to be careful how you do those. Anyway, we're definitely off margin on these Dragon Claws now, so we're going to back out of those. 1.76 mil right now, we're doing really, really poorly as far as profit goes. We'll try to find something that's going to make us at least a decent coin, but as of right now, we're really having a tough time. Try this Ring of Suffering real quick. Don't know if this is going to work out, but I hope it does. Also, we still have 700 or 576 mil in our inventory here, so let's go ahead and put that into something else. Try the Armadillo Crossbow. This one looks decent. No problem, John Ho. Hopefully that works out, man. Some nerd says the Barbarian Assault queue is always full. Escapenomics, it's a huge business. Oh, I didn't know that. Be interesting to take a look at that. What do I turn off? You turn off your Grand Exchange plugin in RuneLite, and that will stop your prices from being tracked through the real-time wiki, or just the what do they call it? The real-time price API, I think is what it's officially called. If you just turn off your Grand Exchange plugin, then it'll be it won't be tracked unless someone else has it on and they buy your items. Chicken Dinner says, when it comes to high volume now, do you use the live data for those two, or do you just commonly, or are they so low in GP that you just check it really quick? I personally would check it real quick in game, because literally if it's a high volume item, it's going to cost you like maximum 50 GP to check it. So I think you're just better off getting the real-time price in the game. It's going to be a lot quicker as well. And I would just personally check it in-game for that. But, I mean, people might not think the same way. I just think, you know, having information that's possibly 2 to 3 minutes outdated versus just getting the real margin in-game for 50 GP is probably worth it. Just because it's so cheap, you know what I mean? That being said, if it's like a Barrows item, then maybe I wouldn't check it. Just because the real-time price information is pretty accurate. Seeing a really big margin on the Dragon Warhammer right now. I'm going to try to hit it really quick. We'll see if it hits, though. I don't think it will, but you never know. Same with the Ring of Suffering. I don't think that's really going to work either. I mean, we are really struggling to hit any flips right now. We are flipping at a very, very competitive time, so it's a little bit of a shame that we are struggling as much as we are. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not staying on top of my flips, though. I actually am moderating things pretty well right now, so we're just having a little bit of bad luck, I think. Try to get that Abyssal Bludgeon going here. I just found it. Where'd it go? My list always gets, like, scrambled here. Gemini OSRS giving us a subscription over on Twitch. Dude, thank you so much, man. Do appreciate that. Thank you for the sub, and welcome to the stream, man. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Today has been a little bit rough, Gemini, not gonna lie, but hopefully we can turn it around here in the short term. I mean, at least I'm hoping. What do you think? You think I'm going to be able to do it? Hopefully we can get something, like, relatively large here. Wait, where'd it go? I just had the margin for it. Yeah, that's one thing I hate is, like, you have to look on a website and then input your prices in game. It always throws me off. That's why I'm like, I have such a serious face. I'm like trying to implement the numbers in. Anyway. Robert L. Oh, of course. Sorry, Robert, man. I forget. There's so many people in the chat like that I have to remember that sometimes I forget, dude. And that's a 2-month sub, so I really do appreciate that, man. American says, what is the worst flip you've had? Maybe something that went with no profit at all. Or where I lost money. I think I lost like almost 200 mil on grapes as an investment. We have a whole video on that came out recently if you are curious. OSRS Clusa says, site just went from 560 mil to 564 mil in 15 minutes. I tried to buy one too. I couldn't freaking get one in the beginning, but I have been watching that. It definitely did rocket up in price. I do see a little bit of economic recovery right now as far as the RuneScape markets go. It's kind of being led by the Twisted Bow. We see a lot of value being held in that Twisted Bow, not really dropping as much compared to other items. I mean, we see the Grazi just absolutely ripping in price right now as well, which is also a good sign, right? And I do think a lot of items will follow this. The last time we saw this was about, I would say, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago. We saw a lot of items crash. They crashed, they started to go back up, and then they crashed again. I do think this is probably the real recovery where things will continue to upward trend, but again, I could be wrong. I'm not saying you should invest in these things. I'm just saying that's personally what I think is going to happen. I mean, we're seeing a lot of value being held in the Twisted Bow. We're seeing a healthy sell-off for the Elysian as well, and we're seeing a lot of money getting pumped back into things like the Grazi. The Sanguesti is not quite there yet, so I do imagine that will follow suit as we see the Grazis go up here as well. And I think there's just a lot of recovery right now, which is a good sign. People are buying back in. Markets are very active. Always good to see that. We see Twisted Bow just ripping in price right now. I mean, Twisted Bow is already up about $1.5 million from where we flipped the last one. So we have to adjust the price on that, of course. We didn't get one at a lower price like I thought we would. So again, we'll have to adjust that. Definitely chasing it very aggressively, though. Pippo Gaming says, so I got to turn off my flipping utilities app on RuneLite so I don't get my data tracked. Yes, that is correct. Ellie is still dropping. Yes, the Ellie, well, it's not dropping as quickly as it was, but yeah, the Elysian's down to about 960 mil as we speak. Definitely coming down a bit in price. I also have to keep in mind that I can't let these flips sit for that long. My habit is to like let them sit because I think they're going to fill, but with real-time prices, you really got to adjust things around if they're not moving for you. We did get all the bludgeons. I think they sort of instant filled the last... I think we're lagging here again, guys. Apologies while we lag here for a minute. Sorry about this, guys. We'll give it a minute here. And we're back. Look at that. All right. We have had some lag difficulty today, haven't we? Let's see. Where were these going for? Not really a huge margin on those bludgeons, but anyway, we'll take it. The T-bow doesn't move from 1.1 mil when dropping, always comes back. The Twisted Bow is definitely the first thing to recover, just because it's a very common high-volume item as well. I mean, Twisted Bow is like the highest volume of the high-tier items, or the high-margin items, I would say. Maybe it's not the highest volume one, but it is definitely one of the higher volume ones, we'll say. Sanguesti might be higher, but it is a little bit cheaper as well. We're lagging really bad right now, guys. I do apologize. Very, very laggy today. We'll try to get a couple spectrals going here, too. They actually look like they have a decent margin right now. I would like to flip a few if we can do it. Let's see. Where was that going for? Let's see. There it is. And we'll go ahead and get a few more spectral shields in there. Very, very nice. I'm surprised. Wait. Are these Twisted Bows being tracked correctly? I don't think these Twisted Bows are being tracked right. Because we didn't buy this one for 1.103 mil. We bought this for it was 1. What? Wait, why is it not getting tracked correctly? Hold on. We didn't sell this for a 5k loss. I don't know what's happening, but I don't think our profit is being tracked correctly on that Twisted Bow. Let's see where we got the first one. Yeah, the first one's correct. Second one's good. That one, why is it... I'm very confused. Is that what we got on that Twisted Bow? No, it thinks it... Okay, I see what's happening. It thinks that our Twisted Bow right now, for some reason it thinks our most recent buy on the Twisted Bow was our buy offer for the previous bow, which is not the case. Anyway, I'm sure that'll change here in a minute. I was thinking maybe DHCB as most. We might be able to flip that. It's not in my list as like one of the top ones to do right now, but we could try and do it. We can't get in on this Grazi either, which is just absolutely rocketing in price right now. It sucks that we missed out on that. Seeing sub 70 mil Sang is crazy. Isn't it, dude? It's freaking wild, man. I never thought that the Sanguesti would go that low. Personally. I mean, of course anything's possible, but it didn't seem like it was going to happen. Let's see. I guess we can try to do that Dragon Hunter crossbow. Just got to find it. Scroll through my giant list of flips. I really do like the new OSRS price wiki, though. I think it's an amazing tool, and I'm sure most of you are using it by now. Someone who does a lot of the programming for it is in our Discord, actually. And we got another T-bow off. Okay, our Twisted Bows are not getting tracked by the profit tracker. I have no idea what's going on, because that's our fourth one. So, I guess our price, or our profit is a little bit not accurate right now. So, keep that in mind. Anyway. I don't know why it's not being tracked. Maybe it's just a little bit laggy. My client is lagging like crazy, so it could very well be the case. Let's do this Dragon Hunter crossbow here. Try to get that off for a decent price as well. Oh, I was saying the most high-cost item traded the most. Oh, yeah, it could be the Dragon Hunter crossbow or the Lance, but I wouldn't even consider those, like, high-end PVM items, but I guess they are. I guess they are. The fourth Tebow hacks the snack food. Good to see you, snack food. Thank you for tuning in. We also have Mitchell Wolf. He says, hey, Scape, good to see you. Good to see you as well, Mitchell. Thank you for tuning in today. Be sure to drop a like if you are enjoying, guys. Really does help me out a lot. And today has been a really tough session as far as profit goes. Basically making nothing today. I mean, compared to the last stream where we were ripping, like, I don't know, how much did we make last stream? Like 6, 7 mil? This is definitely a little bit less of a profit point. Not terrible, but definitely not a good showcase. In fairness, we have been dealing with a little bit of lag, okay? LOL, the DHEB is used at Cox and Vork. Well, the only reason I said, maybe it is because it's used at Chamber of Xerix. For some reason, when I think, like, high-end PVM content, I only think of, like, Theater of Blood. I don't know why. So, that's why I said the Sanguesti before. But I think you're probably right on the money with the Dragon Hunter crossbow being the most traded one. I'd have to look, but that seems completely accurate. And especially since the Dragon Hunter crossbow was in the game before, the Dragon Hunter Lance. It's probably more volume on that. Timo God 6 says, good evening, sir. Good to see you, Timo God. Thank you for tuning in today. We are about to wrap up the stream, though, guys, if you are tuning in a little bit late. And then we have Gemini saying, if you look to the right of your GE screen, you'll see me in full bandos. There he is. There he is, dude. The UPS man. Very nice. What a name. What a name. And luckily, that Dragon Hunter crossbow is trading pretty quickly. Maybe we'll try to get a few more of those here at the end, just because they've been going so fast. Also, we do have this Spectral Spirit Shield as well. We might as well turn that around here. Let's see. Okay. A little bit less of a margin on that than we started with, but still doing fine on it. And we did get undercut on the bludgeons here, so we're going to adjust that around. Man said, screw Cox, TOB is the true raids too. I mean, it's not EA. Holy... Gemini, are you kidding me, man? Chill. Robert, bro, you gotta chill with the freaking gifteds, man. Oh my goodness. 5 gifted subs coming in from Gemini OSRS, also known as Robert L. Dude, thank you so much, man. Legitimately appreciate that a ton. He's been such a big gifter on the channel, man. Seriously, do appreciate it. Thank you for the gifteds. I'm lost for words. I have nothing else to say. Seriously, thank you, man. A lot of people, I'm sure, really appreciate the gifteds, guys. Be sure to let Gemini know how much you appreciate the gifted subs. And look, we have a lot of repeat customers here on the stream, okay? So I'm sure some people getting a gifted subscription is going to mean a lot to them. So again, thank you, Gemini OSRS, for the 5 gifted. Oh, you don't see that a lot around here, I'll tell you that. And we did get the Spectral off as well. At least that makes our lack of profit a little bit better on this stream. We'll put it that way. No luck on the bludgeons yet, although we are on margin for those. We'll give those a minute. And we did get another Twisted Bow, so let's actually try to get that off really quick as well. We're going to cut back on those Warhammers and the Dragon Hunter crossbows here. They're not really working out. We'll keep the bludgeons in here. We are competitive with those bludgeons. We just haven't... Oh, wow. Another Twisted Bow liquidated. And now it says we flipped 4, but the last Twisted Bow was a flip. So, and it just didn't count the profits on that, I guess. It actually booked it as a 5K loss. So, I mean, I think Runelight is conspiring against me at this point. My taxes hit and I paid debt. It's always nice to hit, dude. Hey, that's stem check. It's stem check hit, boys. Hey, I'll take it in gifted subs, any day, man. But anyway, guys, we're going to wrap up the stream here today just because we did clear up all the flips. So the weird thing is, guys, is we actually made 5 mil on the session, right? But we only got tracked for 3.3 mil. and we started the stream with 2,130,000,000 GPs. So I'm curious as to how many flips the tracker missed today. Very odd situation as far as that goes, because people who have been here since the start can say I did start with 2,130,000,000 flat. So I guess the tracker is a couple mil behind, but anyway, we'll call it a 5 mil profit. If you want to call it a 3.3, that's fine. Anyway, we're wrapping up the stream today. 5 mil profit. Very, very nice, guys. Gemini, thank you for the gifteds today. Again, really do appreciate it. We also had Hilm Your Fate giving us a subscription as well. I think we had Sickness giving us a subscription, and Chicken Dinner with the subscriptions, guys. So thank you so much for that. Welcome to all the new followers over on Twitch. By the way, guys, if you want to join us on Discord, feel free to join us with the link in the description below or at the top in the chat, wherever that is. I think it's over here. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys on Friday. And I can't hit the end stream button because my Windows bar came up.